I didn't want any of this. Not the grief, not the illness, certainly not the zombie takeout. That's not who I am. But sometimes you gotta do something. Hello and welcome to episode 557 of Zombie Takeout,
Zombie takeout.
VB Movie and Cult Movie Podcast. I'm John.
And hello, I'm Scotto.
And without any further ado, on to this week's movie, which is from 2023, The Toxic Avenger. Yes, you heard the year correctly, and yes, we've done the original. This is the 2023 remake starring Peter Dinklage. And of course, that brings us to the impromptu plot summary, sponsored by Body Style Health Style. Come for the sketchy pharmaceuticals, stay for the unintended superpowers.
And also brought to you by the Nasty Lads. Are you triggered? Triggered by the triggered? Hire the Nasty Lads for all of your alpha needs today. All right. Man. Let's see. So we have, of course, a lot of the similarities to the original.
Mhm.
He is a janitor. He is, I don't think he was a janitor for the toxic waste people, though, like they had
No, no.
in
He,
this
he
one.
was a janitor at a school, I think. Or
At the
no, a gym. He was
school, and
working at
they,
a gym. That's right. That's how he got mixed up with the kids who
yes.
and it caused the
Uh,
accident.
And they put him in that tutu in the original, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
And this one he willingly got, was just
Love that
doing it.
they put him in a tutu for the when he had the accident. That was
I
genius.
mean, you had to,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You just had to. And right, so this time he's a single dad, and man, I kind of think Peter Dinklage might have been too good for this because you really did feel for the
Oh
guy,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It's like maybe this is a little too sad for Troma and Toxie, because right, he's a stepdad, and the real mom spouse passed on from cancer, of course,
Hmm.
from the toxic waste.
Hmm.
And so here he is with this stepson. So he's a single stepfather. And of course, as he says, playing the hand that he's been dealt, and he's going with it. And of course, that hand is a terrible hand because he works for the toxic waste people, and he has cancer too. And he's going to die and leave his son an orphan. And he gets the idea to rob his boss because the insurance sucked. They weren't going to cover any of his treatment that he needed. And so everything goes sideways. And then he just decides to, meet the boss and level with them. And of course, that is how he gets stuck with the accident. But of course, I mean, I'll jump ahead, of course, spoiler that the toxic effects that he takes in causes his genes to mutate and solves other problems, I guess.
Hmm.
He has superpowers,
Yeah.
and I don't think he sets out to become the Toxic Avenger, but he's thrown into situations that require his actions, and he discovers his powers in that way, like his neighbors being, uh, I guess, bought out, evicted, or
Extorted.
whatever, for or strong-armed really out
Yeah,
of their
yeah. That's the
home,
word.
and he instead takes that strong arm off.
Hmm. He goes from being all of the Wheelers in one guy to being
Yes,
a superhero, and the only trade
right,
off is his appearance.
right. And I that just won't stay put.
Hmm. Yeah.
Although he even starts using that
Yeah,
to
it's
his
useful.
advantage
Yeah.
as like a periscope, taking his eye out
Hmm.
and looking around.
I can't help wondering if that was an intentional nod to the brother from another planet,
Oh,
because he
wow.
could take his eye out and leave it somewhere as like a camera.
We are heading into our 20th anniversary of
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah.
And that was probably the last time I saw that movie
Yeah.
because that
Same
was
here.
like that was probably within the first
Right.
5, 10 episodes, I think, wasn't it?
The bit where he takes his eye out is literally the only thing I remember about that movie.
Hmm. And So of course there's mobsters involved. There's a psychotic new metal rap group that does a lot of dirty work too.
This wasn't set in the 90s, was it?
I don't know.
Because they
It
were
kind of
very
felt
new
it had a
metal.
very 90s feel, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Maybe, but
Uh,
it's not Tromaville. I don't know if they said the name of the city, but
it's St. Roma's
that's
with
it.
the two
Yes,
S's kind of
yes.
faded out to
Uh-huh.
have Troma in the middle.
Right, right. But it did feel very 90s. But yeah, the Killer Nuts, the band, they're supposed to be this very, very controversial band. They're very, very new metal in a very annoying 90s way. They're also the
At first I
henchmen for
thought
the
it was
villain.
War actually. And really they should have just hired War to do it, I
Mm,
think.
yeah.
But yeah, those are all the people that he must um I don't want to say slice, but I guess sear with his toxic mop.
Has to mop up, yeah, yeah.
And oh, of course, as my sponsor, the Nasty Lads
Mm.
too. A
Oh,
very
yeah, yeah.
Clint Eastwood kind of Dirty Harry scene where they're holding the place that had to change the gender, the Mr.
It's
Beef to Miss Beef.
it's the fast food place scene from the original, just updated.
Oh, I forgot that was in the
Yeah.
original.
Well, I mean, there's a very similar scene to the fast food place and a blind woman, except in the original he hooks up with the blind woman. He didn't in this one, which I was impressed with. I
Mm.
expected him to.
But yeah, it had a very Dirty Harry feel to it. They're people trying to knock over a
Hmm.
diner
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
Hmm.
thing, except they had political grievances,
Right.
and hilarity ensues.
I love how the intro jumps the gun. It just starts showing you all of these scenes from the movie and this frenetic voiceover, and he tells it, "Stop, stop." Something along the lines of "We're not there yet," or I don't want to get into that yet.
Yeah, a little taste of what's to come, a
Yeah.
little overture kind of thing.
Hmm. I also loved Ye Old Shithead District.
Yes, they like over yawn,
Mhm.
like they just the weird, like folksy language.
The titles on the screen when they switch locations are hilarious.
Yes.
The investigative journalist at the beginning, Melvin Ferd, that was the name of Toxie in the original.
Okay.
My little Melvin's finally reached puberty. It's Melvin Ferd. One of my suggested titles was Melvin's finally reached middle age. I love how Melvin kept getting up after he kept getting shot.
That was brilliant. I mean, they put him full of so many holes, but
Mm-hmm.
he just kept, I'm still not dead yet. Kind of thing. It reminded me of
It was very Python.
Huey Herman
Oh, okay.
in Buffy,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um,
where the death is just ridiculously drawn out. But he's not a vampire, so it's just like there's
yeah.
no real reason he should have,
Mhm.
other than it's funny.
Right. My headcanon is that the original Toxie was cured and brought back to being human, and that's him.
Oh, yeah, that could very well be what they were going for,
Yeah.
actually.
They just nailed the Troma vibe. Like it doesn't look like a Troma film. It looks like, as the title suggests, gentrified Troma. But the feel, the vibe, the heart of Troma, they fucking nailed. If you've been listening,
I
if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you know I fucking adore Troma. You do as well. Go ahead.
Well, just the concept of a trauma film with a budget
Yeah, yeah,
was just, I mean, at first you kind of go, ugh,
yeah.
really? But
I th-
seeing it,
I think we both came into this expecting them to have pulled a lot of punches.
yeah, yeah, I expected this to be a much more pleasant movie
Yeah.
than they did with it because, I mean, it's a budget, so there are
Mhm.
expectations that they have to do, right? I
Well,
mean, they can't just,
right, right.
make a trauma film
Uh,
with all that money, right? And they did.
I said I came into it thinking that. I'll rephrase that. I came into the trailer thinking that because I saw the Red Band trailer before it even hit theaters, and it had the arm scene. I was like, okay,
And that
wait,
arm scene is kind of timid compared to the rest
yeah,
of the movie.
but they did that, and I think they showed the mop going through one of the nasty boys' mouths in the trailer as well. I was like, oh my god, yes, it has Troma gore. And I fell in love with this movie before I even saw it. Um, the opening titles give this backstory on a chicken who drank the water outside of BTH, Body Talk Health Style, the toxic plant, and mutated. At first I thought it was the guy in the chicken suit in the Killer Nuts.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's actually this little mutated chicken who just shows up periodically throughout the movie. He's even in the last
Right.
scene.
Just a nice little side
Yeah.
character to run through it. By the way, I have ads on my Hulu,
Uh,
and the real funny thing was that there was an ad for like a mystery pharma company
oh God, nice.
and
That had to be
another
intentional.
ad for a chemical weed killer, which
Oh wow.
I had to go, wait a minute, is this a part of the movie or is this an ad? Because I couldn't tell you the name of the pharma company. It was one of those, order, whatever you want, and it'll arrive in this, paper bag kind of thing.
Mhm.
And the weed killer was also like not a name brand
Mm.
weed killer that I'm familiar with either. So I'm like, was that real?
You said Dinklage may be a little too good for the movie. The
Yeah.
way that Winston was desperately trying to connect to his stepson was both making me cringe and making me root for him at the same time.
Well, right. Because I mean, trying to connect with the kid, that's really tough, thing to do. Because, the more you try, the more desperate it comes off, and then
Uh-huh.
just the worse
Yeah.
it can be. Especially if you're, really trying, you really, you know, you're in that situation where you're not the father, but you are the father,
Right.
and just,
Mm-hmm.
you just really want to have a connection and be a family.
Uh, loved the jackhammer during the doctor's appointment scene when he gets the
Oh,
diagnosis.
that's a great, yeah. So we're not into the particulars
Yeah,
of his condition.
the doctor's giving him his diagnosis, and there's this jackhammer outside the window, and it goes off exactly when they're talking about the specifics of his diagnosis. So they don't have to get into, like, they don't have to full botanize any actual medical science. Um, loved how casual the doctor was. He's just having this conversation with him, basically just small talk. Meanwhile, he asked to see him, and it was important, and yet the doctor won't stop with the small talk. I've had
And the whole
doctors like
like,
that.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's annoying.
Like you see this brain? Oh, is that mine? It looks good. Oh, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's for
Yeah, that's a
context.
healthy brain to give you an idea of how bad yours is.
Yeah, and then I love that they brought him back towards the end where,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
eating a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what is it? It's this kind of
Yeah.
Lebanese bologna.
Lebanon
It's really
bologna,
good.
and it was a horrible
What is
combination.
your diagnosis?
I don't remember what it was, but it was on the Lebanon bologna. Oh, Lebanon bologna and
Yeah.
cream cheese, which sounds
Yes.
bizarre and horrible. Um,
Yes, of course.
I do think it was a little unrealistic that Winston was able to get through to an agent when he called his insurance company to see if they'd cover the meds.
Uh, was it really an agent or was it an AI?
He kept saying, talk to an agent, or whatever
Right, right.
the phrase was, and that he actually got a real person. A little unrealistic.
Yeah, but was she a real
Well,
person?
perhaps it may have been an AI, but they didn't
You
give that
have
away.
platinum.
Um, loved the name of Kevin Bacon's character, the villain, Bob
Garbinger.
Garbinger. Also loved when he misspoke and said, "Oh, Garbinger misspoke and said, I'm like syphilis, Sisyphus."
So yeah, they had big names here,
Yeah.
but you could tell these guys were in this
Oh yeah.
for the love of the
Hmm.
game.
Right. They're probably all big fans of the original.
Right.
Speaking of,
It's just shock. I mean, that was probably the whole deal. Like
mhm,
you had to be a fan of the original to be in
right?
this. It
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't just we're getting, and you're not going to get Kevin Bacon for his name
Right.
recognition,
Uh-huh.
honestly. He has it, yes, but he's not going to be like a Oh, look, we got a big time celebrity here.
Right. But Peter Dinklage was only a few years off of Game of Thrones when he did this.
True.
So he was the big draw. Um, did not expect Elijah Wood as Garbinger's brother Fritz.
He shows up in some weird
Yeah, yeah.
places. Like, isn't he in that Ready or Not movie?
Mhm, yeah. And it took me a minute to recognize him because he kind of looks like the Penguin.
Yes. Again, another 90s kind of thing, like
Mhm.
the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Penguin, Batman Returns.
I'm going to say something a bit controversial.
Sure.
I think I prefer this one to the original.
I I don't think it's that controversial. I mean, they really go for it here.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even gotten to what could be one of my favorite splatter scenes of all time
Uh,
in this.
Before we get there, because we have to get to the
Yeah,
transformation first.
right. And using the old school monster movie,
It's the same
score.
music as in the original, because it's this probably public domain monster music.
Right,
And right after he transforms, we see the bird from the opening titles. That's our first hint that that bird's going to be coming back.
right. Doesn't actually do anything, the bird, though, right?
No,
It's just there.
it's just there. But I just like it as a nice through line.
Toxic chicken.
On the Wikipedia page, there's a quote from Lloyd Kaufman. He says that Macon Blair, the director, knows the original Toxic Avenger better than Lloyd does. About a half hour in, we finally get some serious gore. This is the scene you were probably talking about.
Uh, there,
The
there's
the arm.
there's a number of them here, but there's one that's just, I mean, you could tell these guys love the game, you
I
know?
know. The arm was the first nod to me. He's climbing in the fire escape of his apartment. His son sees him as he's coming in the window. Obviously doesn't recognize him because he's been turned into Toxie. And what is he? He throws some kind of big, like an ashtray or something at him. Knocks him
Yeah.
out the window. He falls onto the car of the guy who was strong arming his neighbor to get her place earlier in the film. And
A woman that many would recognize from Ted Lasso as the pub owner.
oh
Uh,
shit! It's been too long since I've
I
seen
of
Ted Lasso.
course, I of course recognize her as the coroner in Midsummer Murders.
If you had said that a second later, you would have had me coughing. I just was about to take a drink. But he falls onto the car, and the asshole who tried to evict his neighbor or get his neighbor's property, yells at him, comes walking toward him. Winston, or I guess I'll call him Toxie. No, Winston. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Winston in my notes. Winston gets up, runs at him, just grabs his arm, pulls it off, and a fire hose of blood comes out. And he's
And
sitting there
honestly,
holding it.
it's just a little amuse bouche
Yeah, yeah.
of splatter that we're about to get treated to.
But I love the line. One person yells, "It's a demon." Someone else yells, "It's a fiend." The first person yells, "Those are the same things."
I, I,
As D
I,
and D
that
geeks, we both have to appreciate that line.
that was the scene where I was like, oh my God, I need to have my closed caption on, missing a shit ton of jokes.
Hmm.
There's the whole like, it's over, it's this, it's that. Just and what's that over there?
And
Just
then
idiot mob.
we have a mob,
Yes, mob shoots in the air
and then they're running after him, actually carrying fucking torches.
through just the city street.
Like this is
Oh
some
man.
Mel Brooks shit,
Yes.
or actually more Zucker.
I was thinking South Park, just
Okay,
the whole
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we have a mob and the torches. That's very Zucker.
Yeah. Although I'm thinking of the ticker jabs, kind of
Mm.
thing, where
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
would probably, I
Right,
think they did
right.
have pitchforks and torches.
Hmm. And then we meet Guthrie, a guy whose living room he basically moved into the woods. We don't know who he is really, or what he does, or why he's there. I don't remember if he even had an explanation. Um, but
It
he,
sounds like he just lost his mind and
yeah,
lost a lawsuit of some sort.
Winston says he's dying, and this guy just starts mocking him.
Because he's not that special. Everybody's dying.
The actor looked very familiar, but I couldn't place him. And I looked at his IMDb. I didn't recognize anything he's done.
Huh. You know what? I meant to do that and I did. Yeah, I couldn't place him at all either. Just some unusual dude that this guy knows.
Loved the "Hello, pervert" tip line. Please hold. I think was it Wade, the son, calling somewhere?
He was trying to call the news
Oh, right,
to tip
to
about who
the monster that just
Toxie
tried to
is.
break into his place, right?
Yeah.
And they did the fucking fast food joint scene. Love that the nasty lads are anti woke. Great update to the movie there.
Yeah. And here, I mean, this is where, the gore, of
Yeah.
course, starts getting more, up the game a bit.
Yeah. And because we're more than 40 years past the original, they can really do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had a budget and he put that budget towards towards what they do best.
Love when he puts his eye back in. He has one normal eye and one big black eye. And I don't mean black eye like it was punched. I mean like bug black eye.
Right. Like he almost looks like a cyborg.
Yeah. It was hanging out at the end of this fight scene in Miss Meat, the fast food place. He just casually puts it back in his head. He's being interviewed after, taking out this effectively a terrorist group. And Wade's watching and he recognizes his voice. That was a really nice touch. Having him, know that this monster that tried to break in was actually his father.
It was interesting that Dinklage isn't really in the suit.
No, no, it's another actor. I
Like
don't
he's
remember. I know it's a woman. I don't remember her name.
right. Like it's a different it's an actress that is doing the movements in Dinklage's voice.
And that's kind of like the original. You had this scrawny guy, short, scrawny guy playing Melvin, and then this big, muscly guy. I think it was the same actor who went on to play Swamp Thing. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me, but I think it was the same guy.
And she really, took care to mirror his
Mm-hmm.
movements and
Yeah.
studied the way he moved to get it down right.
And they matched the voice nicely. The voices for
Yeah.
the lips. I loved that JJ, the Melvin Ferd's assistant, who he meets later in the film, loved that her sister was killed by a Zamboni.
That's that's why I want to use that as the intro.
But you cut out Zamboni. That was what became Zombie Takeout, and that's the funniest
Yes.
part of it. You got to
Yes.
love a random Zamboni drop. Love how just brutally the mop eats through anything. Like anything he hits with the tip of the mop, it just burns through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a fucking lightsaber.
Pretty much it made it into a lightsaber. And I mean, a lot of stuff that you could see Troma not putting the time and effort into doing,
Yeah,
like the whole movement and stuff
right.
like that for the double. Um, that it's weird that they did, and
Well, you know what it is?
what?
Lloyd was making an original idea, right?
Yeah,
He thought of Toxie, he developed it, he created it. You're never going to love your ideas as much as a fan is going to love your ideas.
that's true.
You know, Macon Blair comes along, like Lloyd said, he knows Toxie better than Lloyd does because he is a Toxie fanboy.
In a way, it's like Filoni in Star Wars.
Exactly. He's willing to put. I apologize if I got the pronouns wrong. I'm assuming from a name. He's willing to put the time and effort and the love into crafting a Toxie movie with amazing effects. As I said when we did our tribute episode, Lemmy's one of my biggest heroes. So I adored that Toxie was singing Motorhead's Overkill when he confronted the killer nuts.
Yeah, that really was touching.
And the women randomly flashing during it was maybe the most Troma bit in the movie.
And then to have some dude whip his dick out like in the
Yeah.
third one.
Mm-hmm. Loved how he killed the killer nuts. Can't decide if my favorite is the dancer who he sidesteps and who just keeps going and then randomly explodes, or when he made the bass player eat his own beard.
Eat the beard. Yeah, I like the absurdity of the ninja just kept going for some reason.
I love that Chicken Man was just this weird baby inside.
And how it made JJ,
Just
like
cringe.
sick.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Kevin Bacon needs to play more villains. He is so good at it.
I mean, they had a TV show that didn't last, but like he was the like serial killer cult leader kind of thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And
catch that.
they were I think it did not last
Mhm.
long.
Uh,
I think it was a pretty high budget TV show that they thought was going to be a, viral kind of thing.
mhm. But in something like this, he gets to go over the top and really arch with it, and
Yeah.
go very Combs. I love that he referenced a hat on a hat.
Yes. Something I find myself saying way too many
Uh,
times. But we live in a world
mm,
where people put hats on
uh,
hats, so
right.
it needs to be called out.
Uh-huh. And of course, they extract Winston's blood to try to synthesize a serum that can turn Garbinger into, well, a version of Toxie, but without the disfigurement, just with the power.
It was the one part I missed from the impromptu plot summary.
Yeah.
Yes, they want to capture Toxie so they could get his blood and turn it,
Mhm.
some other people into mutants.
Yeah. When he first changes, he has Hulk eyes, like Lou Ferrigno from the '70s TV series Hulk eyes.
Right.
Loved that. It was such a nice touch. And his final form was a literal fucking demon.
Or kind of a goat man, or
Yeah.
well,
Horns,
it's the same
big,
thing, I
yeah,
guess.
big beard.
That's the mobs.
I did not need to see Toxie's dick, but I respect that they went there.
This isn't a perv thing. I assure you.
The way they escape from Garbinger, he's got him in this titanium, shackles and this big metal thing around his neck. That he can't. He's
It's
not.
Chekhov's piss.
He's not strong enough to break it with his arms or with his muscles. So he pisses on it and it just disintegrates. And then he has to do that with JJ. Fortunately, that part was off camera.
They introduced that concept when he was relieving himself on something on like a rooftop,
Oh,
and then when he walked away,
oh
they
right,
showed it like melted out.
I
So
didn't connect
it's
that. Okay,
literally Chekhov's piss.
huh? I know the scene you're talking about. I just didn't connect that he had pissed on it.
And if there's any way to get to our hearts,
Mm-hmm.
it is to have a Chekhov concept that's completely absurd at the same time.
Right. I knew that Wade wasn't going to be in the shed when it blew up. You know they're not going to kill the kid.
You never know. Would Lloyd have done it? Probably.
Mm,
But
fair.
I guess they wanted to save some for the sequel.
Right. Right. Love the double fight scene. Winston versus Garbinger and JJ versus Garbinger's partner. That fight's a little shorter, but it's still a lot of fun. They practically do like the they live punch for punch bit,
Yeah.
and the bit where Winston and Wade are justifying that Winston isn't a killer, even though he spent the movie killing several people.
I was thinking about that this morning. Like, it defines self-defense. But this leads up to my favorite splatter scene,
Uh huh.
maybe my
Okay.
favorite splatter scene of all time now.
The, as I
And
called
that
it,
is,
tornado of gore.
yes. I'm not sure about the physics
Yeah,
of
no.
a car engine
They attach
because it doesn't go
Garbinger
around.
to the car engine, and I actually applauded that part. There's
I
just this
loved
tornado of gore as he's spinning around.
I loved how they had the over the top music cue for it too, because
Mm-hmm.
they just knew they had one of the greatest splatter
Yeah, yeah.
scenes
Mm-hmm.
ever conceived,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were taking a bow as they did it. And it was like, you know what? Normally I'd be pissed by that, but you guys did it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys really did it.
Mm-hmm.
A head in a car engine.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, uh, the not so great, tagline that she's like, that's not bad, of ignition.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's actually kind of lame, but never mind. But never mind. Forgivable.
Winston had a kind of a weak, quip earlier in the film, and she's like, both Garbinger and JJ were like, nah, it's not that good. This
I
one she
love
kind of threw him a bone on.
that he was trying and
Yeah, yeah,
failing
yeah.
to do the
Mm-hmm.
catchy one-liner. Because you know what? Most people can't pull that off.
I think that's what I love about this one. I think that they tried it in the original, they didn't quite nail it. Is that his personality doesn't change.
Right. He's still the same guy.
He's still the
He
same
just now
lovable loser.
has,
He just has superpowers now.
right. So he can do something.
Yeah. I love that they brought back the jackhammer when the doctor told Winston that he was healed at the end. Of course, he was going to be healed. This mutation healed him.
Yeah.
Of course, we get Lloyd Kaufman's cameo. Got to, shout that out.
The grump. It's all, I forgot what he said about it all,
Yeah.
what it all was.
No romantic subplot. They took out that part of the film. I'm glad, of course. And then we end with Guthrie eating the eggs of the bird who we've seen throughout the movie. I don't know how the hell he's frying eggs in the middle of the woods, but
Huh, okay, that's what he was doing.
yeah.
I was just thinking it was very similar to, you know, the apartment when Winston was
Mm,
making
right,
breakfast for
right.
his son.
Hmm. Probably a callback to that. Um,
Yeah,
we finally get to see Wade's dance scene, or I forget what he actually called it because he didn't want to call it a dance scene, dance
physical
routine.
movement or
Yeah.
some sort of.
But I loved that as someone who's terminally online because he starts it very artistically and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
And then he starts doing these
right.
cheap jokes and memes, and the crowd goes wild. It was a great commentary on the internet. And did you see the post credit scene?
Well, yes, it did.
We get a brief
It was
shot
going
of
to be in my learned.
Garbinger's partner waking up. I smell sequel. And she's in the hospital. Her face is covered with bandages. We can kind of recognize her lips, and we get a bit of her voice, so we know it's her. And then we get Winston making a grilled cheese and just monologuing about how he makes his grilled cheeses.
Which is funny because he was a terrible cook in the beginning,
Yeah, yeah.
but now he's all, what I do.
And this last bit, I actually wrote down verbatim in my notes. After that scene, it just goes to a black screen, and written on the screen is Toxie will return in Too Toxic, Too Avenger, Toxie versus Dracula versus the Unicorn Horn, in space, presented in dildo vision, we're allowed by law, sequel greenlight provisional on $1 billion box office, domestic, tell your friends.
So true. If it grosses enough, it'll
Mm-hmm.
get a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this will get a sequel.
I'm of two minds. I would love to come back to this universe and see more of Winston, but we always respect the one and done.
You know what? I think I'm going with the one and done for this,
Mm.
unless they're doing a musical.
Of course. If they could find a good twist, if they really
Because wasn't
did.
there Didn't they do a Toxic Avenger the musical?
Yeah. Um, they went to like 4 Toxic movies. The first 2
I
were
mean, it
great.
wasn't done in the movie, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think
there
it
was
was
actual
done like
musical.
as a stage
Yeah,
play.
there was a
There's an
musical.
actual.
There was a cartoon. I think they went up to 4 movie sequels. Like I said, the first 2 were good.
I forget how many we've done.
Just the first one, I think. I don't think we ever
We've
did the
only
second
done
one.
the first
I
one.
think so. Maybe the second one. I don't think we've done anymore.
And the music in this is very Troma
Mm,
too.
yeah.
Like there's that sappy love old-timey love song or old-timey sounding love song that reminded me a lot of like puberty love,
I was literally just about to sing that.
the Killer Tomatoes.
I was wondering if my voice could hit those notes because I just saw a little interview with Matt Cameron where he talked about it on Drumeo. On a sequels and remakes.
On a sequel. Well, we kind of
Well, but
right on that already.
a graphic novel based on the film was released on September 2nd, 2025 by Legendary Comics. So there is a graphic novel. I always get into any adaptations and sequels and remakes too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think a one and done for this
Yeah,
unless they've got something really fantastic planned. I think anything's just this is lightning in a bottle.
yeah. It was just so well done. I want more. But
Yeah,
I would also deeply respect it if they didn't do more. On the brains,
on the brains.
together on 3. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3, 5.
5. An easy 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was unsure. I was probably somewhere in the 4 or 4.5, and then when ignition happened, I was like, I can't give this anything less than a 5.
Yeah. That's 3 double fives in a row.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our last episode was so long ago, and
Stand by me,
apologies for that.
Stand by me, Beetlejuice. Now this. All 5s. All double 5s. And what have you learned?
How to boss up my grilled cheese.
And I learned that the wages of sin are $12 an hour. Such a subtle line early in the film, but it was like, there's your learned right there. That's it for the Toxic Avenger. Until next time, we'll be reviewing Mickey 17. Always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
There you
are.
are.